Good morning, traders. This is Perry Wilkie with StartupTrading.com. It is Monday, September 15th, middle of the month already. Can you believe it? Uh, 9 minutes till 9 a.m. Eastern Time. So, looking back at Friday's action, uh, we had just a one time frame up, uh, you know, one distribution above the previous day's value area for the NASDAQ. Just sitting here at value in the value area high zone for the ES, and then we hit that 6600 in the cash market, right? 6621. Just kind of faded back off of it a little bit. No big deal, like 20 points. Not a lot going on in the Friday session. If you look at the SPY, right, this says it all. You're basically looking at from 657 to 659. You hit 650, come down close to 657, like 657 quarter, went up to 659.11, and then back down it and hit that large gamma at 657. Looking at the Qs, uh, just 585 up to 587, just short of that 588, and just really not a lot going on, right? No real continuation, nothing going on. So as we look, right, buckle up. Big week, the calm before the storm, most likely. So today, uh, right, no news. We had Empire State Manufacturing Index at 8:30. That's already out. That was a miss, right? We're looking for plus 4.3. The previous was at 11.9, and we printed a minus 8.7, right? So slowing down much at an accelerated pace. And I mentioned this last week. My read on all the data coming out is that, the Fed, there's an old joke. I don't know if it's a real joke or not, but the Fed always waits too long to act, right? They wait too long when they should start raising rates, and they wait too long when they should start cutting rates, right? And to me, and we won't know until we see the data later, it looks like we're accelerating uh, rapidly, right? Uh, the rate of change is huge right now in the data, it looks to me. And we'll find out as we get more prints coming on. Uh, but as we, you know, come down here, so tomorrow we're going to have core retail sales, and you can see, right, we're looking for positive numbers on core retail sales. We're looking for growth uh, on there. If that ends up printing a negative number, we could end up with some pretty good volatility tomorrow. Otherwise, I do look for range expansion today. Whatever range we get today, I don't care what it is. Just say it's you just use 100 points for example. I expect tomorrow's range to be 140 to 160. I expect range expansion tomorrow over today's range. Uh, if that is a negative print, you could maybe do a 2x, a 1.75 to 2x of today's range. And then we'll see, what goes on. But of course, the big thing, right? We're gonna get the Bank of Canada, woohoo, on uh, Wednesday, but the FOMC. And one thing I wish Forex Factory would actually print on the tape that just blindsides traders and they have no idea why things happen the way they do. We're going to have the VIX roll on Wednesday, right? That's going to amplify this FOMC meeting in the afternoon, right? Um, every time that you have, a major Fed announcement, on the same day that the VIX rolls. It's usually, so let me back this up. So let's suppose we have a 100-point range on today. We have 100 to 170, and I'm talking about the NASDAQ, and this is just an example. You use this as a multiplier, right? It could be a 200-point range, it could be a 210-point range. You're just going to multiply these out. So tomorrow would be 140 to 175, more than likely. If retail sales hits a negative number, maybe 200. And then Wednesday would be 350 point range, regardless of what happens Monday and Tuesday. You're getting, three times the move on Wednesday that you're getting on Monday. Uh, it's just baked into the cake at this point in time. I will be shocked. I mean, I've been wrong before. I'll be wrong again, but I look for extremely volatile last 2 hours of the day on Wednesday. And then as we go down, we're going to get the Bank of England on on Thursday, and really nothing going on. Maybe the Bank of Japan, but who really gives a crap about the Bank of Japan unless you're into the carry trade uh, on Friday? So I hit all of the week that is, and of course we got rollover right now. So institutions want to reposition. I still think that as we float up here, right, and I'll reiterate this as we go. You're closer to at least a 3 month top, then you're not, in my opinion. I still think that today, if you've got a substantial long term portfolio where you're almost 100% invested, you should take at least 2% off. I'm not telling you to sell everything. You should take at least 2 to 5% off between today and tomorrow, right? You're not going to be able to time Wednesday perfectly. Uh, and then just if we go up Wednesday huge into the close, take another 2 to 3% off on Wednesday. There's a high likelihood that if we do get that spike up on Wednesday and we hit some of these levels, I'm going to show you in positioning here in a minute, that it's just a fade down into the end of the month. And then I would look for, potential retest and probably a break of this 6360 level uh, at some point. I don't think that we're going to hold this next measured move, but we'll see. That will be what you want to see wherever that we put in this high, and we can keep going. I think that that next measured move is not going to hold. It's going to probably be a stall and then a break, but we will find out uh, when we get there. Uh, as we look at this, we're still one time framing up, right? Nothing, and I need to switch contracts. So let's do that right now. I did not do that yet. And then we will let the levels show up on the chart as they will. Uh, so what you're doing is you're looking to stay above, right? Your first indication is that you want to stay above this high from August 13th on both of the for the NASDAQ, it's August 13th. For the ES, it's August 15th. And then as we look at the overnight action, right, uh, I'm looking at the new front month of December now. So a lot of people haven't rolled to that, right? They'll be rolling over it this week, to it this week. If you're a day trader, you should not be trading December. You shouldn't be screwing around with, wait until the volume picks up and it's bigger in the other contract or whatever. There is more than enough liquidity for us small size day traders. Unless you're trading, 1,000 lots at a time, which none of us should be that are listening to me talk. Uh, you don't just go ahead and switch to December now. And then overnight volume 64,000 in the December contract for the ES and 32,000 for the NQ. Not sure what it is for the September contracts. And then you can see the only structure we have, and we'll see if we get a retest of it, is if we end up going negative for the day, we do have a single print just under 24,300 in the NASDAQ on the December contract. So we'll see if we get into that. So I kind of guesstimated where these are, these levels on the ES and the NQ. Right now, the TOS 1 day expected move is what was there from Friday. So, you're looking at 66.80 on the December contract up to 24,500 basically on that December contract. And then, lows uh, potentially at 24,200 and just under 66.10, uh, if you will. So as we kind of look at where we're at. And what I'd like to see is I'm actually looking at the wrong chart here. What I'd like to see is, again, watch this 15 level for us to really pop up into those highs. I'd like to see the VIX is going to have to break 15. It might not do that until Wednesday, right? This front month that we're on right now is going to roll off on Wednesday morning, right? And then we'll change the front month, and then we'll have to see where the real VIX is and what the appetite is for it. But you know, it could still bank up a little bit higher Wednesday, even with the Fed, right? And then as soon as whenever selling starts Wednesday, whether it's with the Fed or it starts Thursday, uh, then watch the VIX. The VIX is going to be your friend into the end of the week. Post FOMC, and I'm talking about not the 2 hours after FOMC. I'm talking about Thursday and Friday. The VIX is going to be your friend. Whatever series it's in is going to be your friend for what's going on, and then we'll see if the range expansion continues on Thursday and Friday, or if we digest whatever went on Wednesday. I mean, I'm looking at the week as a whole because you got to map out these bigger weeks as a day trader, right? Where do you really want to stick your neck out? And don't get too complacent with these. Whatever you think the moves are now, they're going to be exacerbated Wednesday. As we progress through the week, the ranges should get bigger each day. And then Thursday, maybe tweak back a little bit, and then we'll have to see what we get. Friday could just be uh, a melt one way or another, either up or down. I'm guessing down, but we will see. And then for today on the Qs, right, you're looking at 591 to 592 is where I'll be looking at the top of the range. And I don't know if we can get down to the 582, to be honest with you, today. We should get, if any of you bothered reading it, if you were really bored, the Fed white paper, right, the VIX should be sold and not get a bid into Wednesday, right? Uh, and then that's going to put kind of a floor or a buffer for downside moves going into the FOMC announcement on Wednesday. So that's what they call the Fed drift. You kind of float up. It doesn't mean that, we can't have some flushes down and then, even close negative today. But more than likely, as we come into the FOMC announcement on Wednesday, we're going to be above Friday's close. Uh, and then we'll go from there. So the cash market, you're still looking at 60, 65, 6,600 up here. So we'll see, what we get on the cash market for uh, anything going on, but 66.20 is your expected move of the day. The ES is up 20 points. We closed at 84, so we'd be, around 15 points higher is where that one-day expected move was supposed to be, and we'll see if we, just start oscillating back around. We could just spend, most of the day in yesterday's or the overnight value area, and then we could, potentially close a little bit lower around these single prints heading into tomorrow. We'll have to see if that plays out or not, but I wouldn't get too caught up uh, in expecting a series today. I would expect more of a trending day tomorrow, and then we'll have to see what goes on. Tuesdays and Thursdays are usually your trending days with poor structure. I hope this helps. We'll see what Jack's looking at. Have a great day. Trade safe and start thinking about how you're going to trade this week, because you're going to have to start cutting your size as the week progresses through, and you should be on the December contract now as a day trader. Hope this helps. Have a